Hello. Um, I was told that if I were to make a YouTube video, I probably should talk about what I'm going to do, what I'm going to talk about, if I'm going to do a monologue, if I'm going to perform a scene. But I figured I would use this opportunity to actually talk about what's on my mind. Most like what I usually do on Facebook, and there are people who like my Facebook posts that I make. Um, I think I'm going to use this as an opportunity to basically kind of just be real and just talk about things that are real, things about how I feel, things people probably don't know about or what I've gone through. But this is going to be probably better because if this were on Facebook, it'd be a pretty long post, and I probably don't think I'd be able to post it. So I think I'll do it now. If someone were to ask me how I feel about life, like what I think about life, what would be the first thing that would come to my mind? And that would be, um, well, actually, it could be a lot of things. But in my case, life, enjoyment, being free, being who you are, just, you know, having people accept you for you, and just um, about not having to be sorry for being you. The people genuinely accept you for who you are. They don't make fun of you for things that you do, and they don't judge you for things you say or things you do. That's people who are real. Your real friends, your real family are like that. Um, they don't judge you. They don't hate you. They love you, and they will always love you. Now, I've had various things in my life where I've lost some family members, not like deceased, but like talking about like people in my family I don't talk to anymore that I kind of just put aside and just haven't really bothered with them because of personal reasons. Um, and this is one of those things where I don't want someone to scold me or yell at me, or if anybody has a problem with anything that I say, just do me a favor and go to my inbox on Facebook and send me a whole message explaining I don't like this video, take it down, and stuff like that, because you know I'm just here. I'm just here to tell the truth and basically to say how I feel, and that's the purpose actually of this video. Um, so, like I said, I've lost family members by not talking to them, just distancing myself away from them. I've lost friends that way. Um, and like, I'm not mentioning any names here, but I'm sure people who know who I mean, who are watching this video, will know, like, oh, okay, well, you're talking about me and stuff like that. Well, okay, not mentioning any names, but whatever. Um, and I always strive in my life to be the best that I can be. Not only the best actor, but the best person, the best hard worker, the best uncle, the best fiance, friend, son. Um, and people say it shouldn't have to take a lot of work, but in my line it does, because I always strive to please everybody. I don't know why. It's just how I grew up. And, my Nan, God rest her soul. And by the way, Nan, I know you're watching this video, and I just want you to know that this is for you as well. My Nan always taught me to always be me. Just always be a nice person, always be a good person, never let anybody take me down, stop me from achieving my dream or what I want in life. And that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to let anybody or anything stand in my way of what I want to do, um, of what I want in my life, and you know, just be me, be Lewis, and stuff like that. You know, because as much fun as it is to actually do my acting where I can pretend to be somebody else and not be myself, I used to think that it's kind of hard for me to explain, but I used to think that it was better when I was acting as somebody else and not me. But fast forward to now that I have met someone, that I have a fiance now who was my girlfriend, and we're gonna get married, and we are gonna start a family someday in the future. I don't know when, but I even want my kids to know, and I want to teach my kids the same thing that my nan has taught me, to be, especially because, I want to teach my kids especially things that my nan taught me, because if she were here, she would want the best for my kids. She would want me to teach my kid, to have my kids be the best that they can be, to again not let anybody judge them for how they look, how they talk, how they act, that they're a genuinely good person. And whether I have a son, or whether I have a daughter, which, by the way, I have talked about it with Amanda, and we both agreed that we do hope that our first child, whenever we have children, would be a daughter. And I would want my daughter to know, when she looks at my family, when she looks at me and her mother, that I want her to see that there's real love out there, that there is somebody that you can find and love unconditionally, no matter what, and you could spend the rest of your life with, and just be in awe of the things around you, all the good things around you. Just, it's like, it's kind of like heaven, basically, and I'm speaking as a Catholic boy, because I'm Catholic. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God. I've never lost my faith. I know I should go to church a lot more often, but even before this whole COVID thing started. But I always did feel good whenever I went to church, always. And I can say one thing I'm not, and that's political. A lot of people will be like, oh, you should follow politics and stuff like that. That's going to be a big part of your life. Well, I honestly, I really can't answer that. I can't answer that right now, because I really don't really quite grasp the sense of politics. I always feel like whoever runs this great country of the United States of America, whoever that is, there's going to be like 50% of people who agree on what that person's saying, the other 50% who don't agree. It's always going to be a 50-50 kind of thing. It'd be nice to have there like an in-between things where people are like, oh, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. That makes a lot of sense, but there's people who are not like that. And I've been in situations where I hear people talk about politics, and I hear the way people get about politics, and it's it's kind of like a situation I really don't want to get involved in. If I have an argument, I'd rather it be about something that I believe in, something that I know, like roughly being, if someone, I would like various things to argue. I would argue a point where if somebody would say, I believe that as an actor, there is a lot more to learn as an actor. I've always been told that, and I still am being taught that you're always learning as an actor. You never, if you really want to keep pursuing acting, you're never going to stop learning. And I'm willing to learn. And I'm being pushed to learn. I do accept challenges. I want to get better at my challenges. And I'm sure there's people out there who not necessarily view me as an actor, but view me as somebody who's trying to be an actor. And I think people who have actually seen me on stage and seen me perform and see me actually become another person where I'm not me, then, then actually those people I actually have convinced that I am an actor. The people who haven't seen that and tell me that they have yet to see that from me, I don't think they fully have been paying attention really, and just, obviously I would argue that point with those particular people that, maybe you and I don't view acting the same way, especially when it comes to me. I obviously act and play a part differently than you, so whatever I'm doing doesn't work for you, so that's why you see it that way, that, you look up on stage and you say something like, oh, that's Lewis up there, or something like that, and that's Lewis trying to be somebody else. Well, again, that's your opinion. I can't stop you from thinking that, so. But I'm using that basically as an example, kind of. And, if there's one, and another thing that I can say, is that I'm not a perfect person. I never have been. I probably never will be. I don't try to be perfect. I just try to be who I am, and I try to be true to myself, and I always try to be accepted by everybody around me, and that I have. I'm very lucky. For the people who are in my life, I truly am a very lucky person, and, just, off the top of my head, I can just say that, one person in particular actually, in a very funny way, kind of inspired me to actually make this video that I'm making right now, and that is, actually, he's a very bright kid, and I'm sure you all know him. He's at Culture Park Theater. His name is Tyler. No, not Tyler Young, not Tyler Omenson. It's another Tyler. I can't really pronounce his name, but you'll know who I'm talking about. I saw him post on Facebook it was a very heartwarming video, in my opinion, about how you shouldn't judge people by their skin color and how they act, which is 100% true. You should not. I personally don't judge people by their skin color at all, or how that person looks, or how they talk. Especially if you don't really know the person as much as you think you do, and stuff like, because there's people. I think I have a depth. In my opinion, I have a depth to me. You guys know the word I mean. I have a depth to me that people don't really know, and that's I'm not just a loving, caring, passionate human being. I'm also I also am, and I'm not I'm not only very sensitive, because I am. Which, by the way, another thing I've been told by people that could also be a very good thing and a bad thing, and and I would say that in that case is true, because it can be. But I also would say that I've had people in my life who who I have people in my life who've kind of treated me, um, who kind of treated me the wrong way and stuff like that. Like they, like, in a way, kind of used me for like their own, like 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 their own thing, you know. And mm, mm, you know, I've had people say things to me in my life where I kind of like it. Well, it didn't bother me at first, but then, like, you know, give it a couple days and I think about what that person said, and I'm like thinking to myself, like, "Ooh, that really bothers me," you know, and stuff like that. And then the heat of the moment comes and I say, like, you know, I'm gonna find that person, I'm gonna send them a message, and I'm gonna tell them how I feel. And then I do that, and then this person sends me like a whole Facebook thing of messages and says, like, you know, and then I always get things like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry you feel that way," or something like that, or "That's like immature of you," and stuff like that, you know. And I'm just expressing my opinion because I really really try my hardest when somebody says something to me not to let it bother me, even if it does. I always try my best to hold it in and make it just disappear and go away and never come back again. But that doesn't always seem to happen with me because it always creeps up in the end, and I just explode, and I just tell that one particular person how I feel, and they either like what I have to say, they don't like what I have to say, they understand what I'm saying, I'm sure, but needless to say, I'm not mentioning any names here, I'm just saying that's usually the case in my book. But And I guess I've been trying to do too many things, which is why people are wondering, how come you haven't really posted anything that much on Facebook? Honestly, because I have my own life to try and figure out, to try and get things going. Basically because I have a future ahead of me. And that's personally and professionally. So I have a lot to do, so that's why I really haven't been making these posts on Facebook. But I figured if I did this video, it would give people a sense of where I'm coming from, and you know, I'm sure people are gonna be like, "Wow, you took like almost an hour to get your point out there and stuff like that." Well, you either like the videos I'm posting or you don't. You don't have to follow me. That's completely up to you. So, you know, and another thing I have to say is that you know, there are times where people can make a joke, kind of, and this is going back to what Tyler said in his video. There are people there are people who can be your friend, and they could say something as a joke to you, not realizing that what they said hurt you. So, and I've have a lot of people in my life that can joke around with me and stuff like that, but sometimes they'll say something to me that I'll just think back and like, well, that was uncalled for, or that was rude, or something like that, and I don't appreciate what that person said. And I know some people say, well, a lot of people say that I should confront that person right there and say, hey, what you just said, I didn't agree with, I didn't like what you said, so don't ever say that to me again. Well, unfortunately, I'm not that person. I kind of just try and let that thought in my head go away, and then, like I said, it comes back, and I'm the one who finds that person and tells them how I feel in my way. And half the time, that person doesn't like what I have to say, so, you know, things have gone downhill from there. I've had people who've been like, okay, I understand you, I'm sorry, I upset you like that, you know, let's just forget about it, whatever. So, yeah, that has happened. And, basically, I'm just living life, you know, I'm living life to its fullest. I'm not necessarily living every day like it's my last, because I plan on being around a long, long, long time, and I plan on doing a lot with myself, you know, and I plan on making my life really good, and making my life a lot better then basically I'm making my life a lot better than how I had it when I was younger. And not saying I didn't like my life when I was younger. I loved my life. I had my nan, I had my whole family, and they taught me to be the person that I am today. I'll always be thankful for them for that. I'll always love them for that. That'll never change. I still can't believe I'm going to be 30 this year. I mean, wow. With that being said, being 30 years old, well, being 30 this year, I'm an older caveman now, you know, just, I'm more mature now, more responsible now, and, you know, there's a lot of things in my life I don't have that I'm not doing that people would say is responsible, but I'm still responsible regardless, and, you know, just, you know, just, I just felt like I should get this all out there and show and show like what like this is kind of like saying what is Louis Monaco all about? What does Louis Monaco strive to be? What is he passionate about? Well, this is it. What I was gonna say, this whole video, I said it all, and just you know. I'm just an ordinary guy who loves life, who's very passionate about what he does, and very passionate about the people that are in his life. He loves his fiancée with all his heart, and he'll do everything he can to protect her and take care of her. And he's working right now on making his life better. And that's it. I don't have anything more to say than everything I just said, so, but I'm sure I'll have a monologue at some point, maybe a scene, an impersonation, whatever. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. So, that's all.